Okay, let me address the elephant in the room first. The hair. Now, I just washed my hair, and this is the first thing I found when I was looking in my closet. And I don't even know what I got this wig for, but I'm giving you Oprah vibes, and I'm giving you a very serious topic, so let's just get into it. What's up, YouTube? How you feeling? How you living? What's good? It's your girl Francine. Today is Friday, which means it's Fact Friday. We get into the straight facts about what's really going on. And this week, like last week, I will be talking about a subject matter that is very near to my heart, and will be donating to a cause that I really care about for my birthday month. Now, I will put all the links in the description so you can donate as well and get any information that you need about homelessness, which is what we're talking about this week. This subject is really near and dear to me because I've worked with homeless individuals pretty much most, if not all, of my law career. I did a lot of Social Security work as well as working with veterans and doing and helping with veterans cases, and so I saw a lot of people who were dealing with homelessness for a variety of reasons, and have learned a lot about how people can become homeless and how it affects their health, as well as their ability to get jobs outside of being homeless. You know, of course, that's what the plan is, for them to be able to work or possibly get the resources they need, but a lot of times it's hard for them to work for a number of reasons. And so, especially right now with everything going on with COVID-19, a lot of people being unemployed. I mean, we got as high as 14% unemployment this year. A lot of people are up for evictions this year because the moratoriums that were underway have been lifted and they no longer are in place. And so a lot of places are pretty much on the rise of having a lot of evictions. So because of that, I am donating to endhomelessness.org. They're an organization that spreads awareness as well as helps people with individuals who are homeless, as well as families and youth who are dealing with homelessness. If you would like to give as well, you can click the link in the description and give at as much as you can, or just to learn about what's going on after you watch this video. So let's get into it. So let's start off with what homelessness is, right? What causes an individual to be labeled as homeless? Well, the Department of Housing and Urban Development defines homelessness as someone who lacks fixed, adequate nighttime residence, someone who is at imminent risk of homelessness, or an unaccompanied youth under 25, or families with children who have not had permanent housing for more than 60 days, or have moved 2 times in a 60-day period and is expected to continue that pattern due to special needs or barriers, as well as individuals or families that are fleeing domestic violence and have no other residence. So this is what qualifies someone to be homeless. Essentially, someone who has no permanent house to stay in, or is moving from place to place and doesn't have a stable home, or essentially has to flee from, some type of violence and doesn't have anywhere to go. So let's kind of get into what causes homelessness, because a lot of people believe that homeless people are just
people who threw away money on drugs and alcohol, and they're just vagrants who just don't care about life.
Well, that is not true. A lot of people become homeless because of the housing market. Now, if you did not know, the housing market, and especially in metropolitan urban areas, has been booming, but it has been booming on luxury housing, upscale housing, taking away the kind of affordable housing that has been in areas for years that has helped people who have been in low income predicaments, and then replacing them with high rises and nice apartments that mostly nobody can afford. Shoot, I can't even afford half of these apartments. And when that happens, when housing becomes more necessary and the demand for housing becomes huger, especially for professionals who make pretty good money in metropolitan areas, it essentially drives up the cost of living, drives up the property taxes, and the people who live in those areas no longer can afford to be there. So that's why a lot of people are against things like gentrification, which essentially comes into people's neighborhoods of low income, tries to make it seem like they're making them better for the individuals, but in reality, they're essentially kicking people out because they can't afford to be there anymore once the property taxes go up. And so a lot of those people have nowhere to go. And when you have people who have nowhere to go, well, unfortunately, a lot of times the best place they can find is the streets. And when it comes to that, one thing we also have to look at is minimum wage, right? So a lot of people say, well, just get a job. Just get a job so that you can take care of yourself and you'll be able to afford these places. But what you don't realize is that the minimum wage has been $7.25 for the last over 10 years. And even before then, it was extremely low. And in order to survive on $7.25 an hour, in most states in America, you would have to work 127 hours to be able to pay for a 2-bedroom rental in most states. I don't really think that's possible unless you finna die. I don't really think most people can do 127 hours in a week. I don't think anybody can do 127 hours in a week and have a life and sleep and be able to be a functioning human being. That's why you see a lot of people who have low-income jobs have to work more than one job and still can't make ends meet. Another thing you have to take into account is violence. A lot of times, people who are suffering from domestic violence have to leave those situations, and it's great that they're leaving the situation they're in, but unfortunately that a lot of times puts them in a place where they have nowhere to go. And there are women's shelters and transitional shelters that they can go to, but those have been cut tremendously due to, of course, budgeting and not getting the right funding to be able to support those places. Another huge reason why people become homeless is mental and physical illnesses. Like I said, I did Social Security for 2 years, and I saw a lot of people who were suffering from severe mental and physical illnesses that unfortunately weren't able to work. And because they weren't able to work because of these mental and physical illnesses, well, they didn't have anywhere to live because they didn't have any money. And statistics have shown that homelessness ages your body and your mind. It can cause you to have physical and mental conditions that are equivalent to someone 15 to 20 years older than you are. In 2019, more than 567,000 people were suffering from homelessness. When you look at the statistics, it shows that men are more likely to be homeless than women, with 60%. Individuals by themselves are more likely to be homeless, with over 396,000 individuals suffering from homelessness. Families, so people who are with their families or children, make up 171,000 homeless individuals. Another huge proportion of people who suffer from homelessness are veterans. There's over 37,000 people who are homeless in 2019 that were veterans. So let's look at the trajectory in regards to states. So each state has its own difficulties when it comes to homelessness. Now, when we look at the United States as a whole, homelessness has gone down by 12%. In 37 states, homelessness has gone down by a substantial amount. However, when you look at super metropolitan areas like California, New York, Florida, Washington, and Texas, they make up half. Just those 5 states alone make up half of the homeless population in this country. So let's look at now, with COVID-19 being on the rise and so many people becoming unemployed and so many people not being able to pay their rent, how has this been affecting homelessness and will affect homelessness in the future? Well, just looking at the homeless population that is already homeless, the limited resources that are available to the people who are out on the streets right now has caused for a uprise in overcrowded shelters, which causes social distancing to be extremely hard. With that, it causes a lot of ability to spread in between people. And you also look at the fact that a lot of people who are homeless, they escape homelessness through employment. And because the unemployment rate has been going up so much, there's been a lot less jobs for them to go to. They're not able to escape homelessness in the way of just get a job, as most people would say, because there's not a lot of jobs right now. And I know from talking to people who have been homeless, they say, we do little odd jobs here and there, or, I may try to get employment and I can't keep it, but at least they had that option. Now, not really, because a lot of people who had jobs are now unemployed or taking the jobs that they would normally take, and it's a lot harder for them to get jobs. On top of the fact that if you look at the fact that there's about to be a lot of evictions happening in this country. Like I said, at one point in April, the unemployment rate was at 14%. Right now it's at 8% and as of August, so they haven't gotten the numbers for September yet, but that's still a lot of people. Like, that's still a lot of people. And when you look at the fact that there has been eviction moratoriums that have expired in July, and they gave them about 30 at the end of July, and they gave them about 30 days notice to essentially, wrap it up and leave, or pay, the amount of money that they owe in order to not be evicted. A lot of people this month are probably going to end up homeless. All right, y'all. So I gotta interrupt this perfectly put together video to put in info that I have just researched after looking more into this, and have seen that the CDC has apparently made an unpublished order declaring for renters to sign a declaration stating that they're unable to pay rent and have sought government assistance. So if they are able to qualify for government assistance, they will not be evicted until December 31st. And that's a moratorium by the CDC, which applies to all rental units nationwide until December 31st. And it goes into effect immediately. So that is great. I want to interrupt here because I was about to go into very grave detail about how this can affect up to 40 million renters, which thankfully they will not be affected by this anymore because they now have this executive order. However, everything I say after this and before this is still a big issue. So trust me, this does not mean that it's over. Okay, but I just wanted to make sure I put that in here because I didn't want anybody using that against me in the comments. All right. Like I said in the beginning, everyone thinks that people end up homeless because of just some dumb, bad decision that they made, but this is not their fault. There has been a pandemic that has happened that we were not at all ready or prepared for, that we did not help anybody for. We got one little measly $1,200 check and $600 a week that expired, and we still can't pass a bill to help anybody. And we already had a problem with homelessness in this country already, and nobody was addressing it then, and it seems like no one's really addressing it now. And that's why it's something that I'm very passionate about, because the stigma behind homelessness isn't necessary. It is a very real thing for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't want to help. But I think with understanding how it works, understanding how people end up there, and understanding the numbers and how they are about to be exponentially bigger, I hope that helps you to better understand homelessness and those who are homeless. If you see someone on the street who needs something, you know what I mean? Even if you don't want to give them money, maybe get them a meal, something. Just, especially right now, take care of your fellow man, help whoever you can. And that's all I got for today. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, put them in the comment section. And please don't make fun of my hair, because I'm never wearing this again. I look like Oprah Winfrey's sister or cousin, niece. If I had Oprah Winfrey's money though, maybe I would be okay with it, but I don't. And if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button, and I will see y'all tomorrow for Say That Saturday. I'll be doing a Q&A. So if you want to ask a question in this video, because I'm taping it tonight, which would be Friday night because I'm taping this on Thursday. You know what? It doesn't matter. If you have a question, put them in the comment section, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.